Hi everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? I think I'm live. Yes. Okay, let's move that. I'm going to show you about that in a few minutes. But I'm just going to put this here because this is what we're going to be making this evening. And just until I see it come through on my computer, I just want to know that we're working. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I can see this. Hi Shell, nice to see you. How's the weather? Here we're doing quite well. Our snow's nearly all melted. It's been really windy, but I'm sure it's a lot warmer than where you are. Did you see I'd sent you a message as well about doing swaps? So if you're still interested in doing swap cards, I'm sure we can find a few more people who would swap with us as well. So we're going to make this little box tonight. Oh, let me just move my lights a little bit. It's a little bit bright there. There we go. So, oh, still lots of snow. Yeah, we've just got that, you know, that nasty ice after you've had snow for a while and it sort of melts during the day and then freezes again on a night time. We've just got that right now. So, I've got a couple of things just to talk about before we make our little chocolate box and while we wait for everybody else to arrive. These are two cards that I got in my sister's swap. The swaps that I do, you know, with the group of ladies all across Canada, and we do our team meetings once a quarter together, and we have those sort of a whole day crafting event. We all swap cards, and these are two of the cards I got, and they're both using this same set. And when I got these cards, I didn't actually have the set because I was pretty sure I didn't need it, but you know, I love these, so it made me buy some. That's the downside about swaps. Hi Laurie, nice to see you. I'm just showing you a couple of my swaps, Laurie, that I got from my Silver Sister group, and they're both using this little nuts and bolts set. So it's a red rubber set. Mine's only just arrived because I wasn't going to buy this one, and I thought, you know, I don't have any little boys. I don't really need little robots, but the more I saw it, the more I thought it was cute. So I've got it now. Okay, and the only other thing I've got to talk about tonight before we make our chocolate box is paper pumpkin, because I'm sure some of you have already seen that paper pumpkin prices are going to increase slightly. I know everything's increasing. Just looking around the stores and, you know, looking at gas and things, everything's going up. And paper pumpkin are just raising their prices by about $3 a month, and I think that's to pay for the difference in prices with the stock that they get and for distributing and everything like that. And at the moment, if you pay month on month, I think it's still $32.50. I think it's still at that. But this is always the time of year when I buy my paper pumpkin, and sometimes I've done it where I pay by Visa once a month, and it goes out, and that's fine. I skip it if I want to, or I just keep it going. But if you get it during celebration, the best way to do it is to buy it now, because you get celebration rewards on it as well. If you were to buy one of these prepaid paper pumpkin codes next month, there'd be nothing extra, but during a celebration you always get things. So at the moment the 3-month code is $82.50, and it's going up to $90. The 6-month code is currently $158 for us, and it's going up to $171, and the 12-month code is $300, but you actually get a month free anyway in that, and it's going up to $325. But look at the amount of celebration rewards you can get. If you buy a 3-month one, you can get 1 celebration reward. If you get 6 months, you get 2. The best value by far is to get 12 months. And last year, this is what I did. I bought 12 months because you only pay for 11, and then I got 5 celebration rewards. But you don't have to keep getting it every month. You can skip months if you don't fancy the look of it, or if you're going to be away, you know, so you don't have to have 12 months all at once. You can think, well, I'm going to be away June and July, so I'm going to put my order on hold for those 2 months. So, no, just something that would maybe save you a little bit of money as well. Hi Jane, you're not tardy. I was only showing the paper pumpkin pricing with the value of getting it during celebration, and oh, let me pick them up again. And these 2 cute little cards that I got in one of my swaps with my Silver Sisters. And this was one of those stamp sets, Jane, that I didn't need. And then, oops, it just arrived in the mail. So it was actually much cuter than I thought it was going to be. So I might use it for my preschool cards as well. But I thought this was quite cute. Okay, so let's put those down and out the way and show you what we're going to make. So I have a whole pile of Lindt chocolate bars. I love these. I love Lindt chocolate bars. And I've got 4 here. I might have started out with a few more than 4, but they tasted good, and I had to do that quality control, you know, so you just have to check, don't you? So I want to give these out as Valentines, but the thing is, they're quite big. They're 3.5 by 7.5. And when I used to make boxes for bars of chocolate, I used to use the Cadbury's ones, and I think they were about 3 by 6. So all of the packaging that I've used before, it just didn't fit. I looked online, I tried to find something that I loved, couldn't find anything. So I spent a while making a box, and this is what I came up with. So this is actually the one that's going to be for my husband, if it lasts that long. Not too sure yet because it's got my favourite one inside. So I used the stamps from Nothing's Better Than, and I just used, you know, like the chocolate one, and today is a chocolate kind of day, and here's the little chocolates. I didn't use a Valentine wrap. I used paper from this sweet that I can never remember the name of, Beauty of the Earth, because it was quite a masculine kind of paper. So yes, Laura, you do need that set for little boys. You're exactly right. It's I think big boys would like that robot set as well. So all I've done is I've made a really simple, like a book fold. I haven't left little tabs on here, because if I left my tabs on here and closed it up, it was really difficult to get the chocolate out without tearing the whole wrapper. And then I just cut out, I die cut from here, the Love You More Than Chocolate. And then it's got the little chilly one inside. Ooh. Oh, I stuck it down with a glue dot so it didn't fall out. Okay, so that's what we're going to make. If you want, what you can also do, you see there's just a little bit of a gap in here as well. You could always make like a slimline card and pop your card in there too. You could make it so that it matched the paper. So I'm just going to tie this back up with my little double row of ribbon that I put on. That was because I cut the ribbon and then I couldn't find where I put it, so I cut it again, and then I saw where I put the first ribbon. But actually, I quite liked it with 2 sets of ribbon on. I thought it looked quite sweet. Okay, now something else I did over the weekend, and while I was looking for all my dies, was I took my dies out of my boxes of stamps. Normally, I've put like a magnet sheet in here and put all my dies in, but I found that I'm starting to forget what dies I've got, what they look like, what matches with anything. So I've started oh, it's a bit of a mammoth task. And I've just got a basket, and what I've done is I've put all my dies back into their envelopes, and I've put a little label on, made with one of those, like a Dymo printer, and I've put it so that I can see the dies, because I just forget, and if I'm looking for something to cut out a sentiment, I don't remember that, oh look, this is the one from the trees. I just tend to stick with the same things. So I put them in alphabetical order. I put all the big ones first, and then the narrower ones. And I think I'll use them more. I think that I'll remember what I've got and what I can use. While I was doing it, I actually remembered that hippo set, and I'm using that tonight. I'm using this big one. That's the one on the chocolate. That's this die cut, this nice big one. So I'm going to do the same thing with my endorsing folders as well, because I find that I'm not using them. So exactly, Jane, you can't remember, can you? And then I'm thinking, I'm sure I had like a curly die, or I've got, you know, 3 or 4 sentiment dies, and I just can't remember where they are. So instead of having them just in the stamp box, I'm going to mix and match them all. So let me just, there was some in here that I haven't even opened yet, and I'd forgotten I had. So even something simple like this, I'd forgotten that we've got that scallop on there. That's really nice for edging the side of your designer series paper and just putting on a card front. You know, just those simple bits, and we're forgetting. So I haven't got a good excuse to forget them anymore. Right, let's get on and make this box. Today's I'm going to make with Poppy Parade. So you just need 1 sheet. I didn't want to design anything where you needed a 12 by 12 piece. I just wanted to use ordinary cardstock. And then I've got the pattern party paper. You've seen me use this lots of times, but there's such a lot of it. You know, I've been using it all year and I've still got tons. And I'm going to use the heart one, because it's just perfect for what I want right now. Okay, so I'll put the paper on one side, and then I'm just going to move my little template out of the way for here. So we need a piece that's 8.5 by 9.5. This side's already 8.5. So yeah, I think it's all of our problems, Laurie. I think we get so many nice things and we just forget where they all are, and we don't have to sort of just have that die set for one stamp set. We need to mix and match a bit more. So I'm trying really hard to use a lot of the things that I already have that haven't seen ink or haven't come out of the packet yet. Okay, so 8.5 by 9.5. I'm just going to pop it in my trimmer, line it up at the 9.5 and trim that off. Now I'm going to save this little piece because I want to do some die cutting later, and that would be the perfect size, except I've already got a scrap, so I'm using a different scrap, but save this for, you know, like little label backings and things. Okay, so on the 8.5 side, I'm going to turn it back round. This is the 8.5 side, and I'm going to score it at 3.5. I will put all the sizings up for you, so don't worry about writing anything down. 3.5 and 4, and then 7.5, then move it all the way across, 7.5 and 8. Okay, and then we're going to turn the whole thing 90 degrees. Okay. Now, if you've followed me for a long time, you know that I used to make tons of boxes. I haven't made any for a while, and I was a bit rusty on remembering how to do tabs and things. But I really do like making boxes, and I'd just forgotten. Okay, so we're going to now score at the left and the right, and I find it easier to use my trimmer and measure on the right hand side here. So I've got this side lined up, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. and 1 inch. I'm going to turn the whole thing round. So turn it 180 degrees to have the other side, and I'm doing exactly the same. So 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And I can put my trimmer down for a little while. Oh, I tell you what, while we've got the trimmer out, let's cut the designer series paper. Okay, so I've got my designer series paper, and I'm going to need a piece 3 1/4 by 7 1/4 for the front. I'm going to put the same on the back, and I'm going to put a piece inside. So I'm just going to cut 3 1/4. I'm going to cut a whole strip, and I want it orientated sort of portrait size. So that's 3 1/4. I'm going to cut this at 7 1/4, and I'm not worrying that I've got bits and pieces left over because I know I'll use these on a card. I'm going to do the same again. So 3 1/4. There's probably a really economical way to use this, but I don't feel like I'm wasting it because I can use those pieces on card fronts. 7 1/4. And I'm going to cut a 3rd piece because I want a piece for the inside, and I'm actually going to use the black striped piece. So I'm just going to cut another one. 3 1/4 by 7 1/4. And I think that's probably all of our trimming done. So let's put that down. I'm going to put these little scraps away before I get confused and try and stick them on my chocolate box. I'm going to put these 3 over to the side. Okay. Now, I've made myself a little template. This is the whole box already cut out and all the pieces cut away. And if I'm making something, I find it easier to have a template. So then all I have to do is match it up. See the 2 score lines at the bottom, they're here. There's no score at the top, so that must be the top piece here. And I'm just going to lay it on top of the piece that I've already scored. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line on the pieces that I have to cut out. And this is so much easier than trying to eyeball it and working out which bits cut off, and I've always done boxes like this. Okay, so there are pieces that we're going to cut off. I'm going to get my little sharp scissors. If you don't feel confident cutting it, you can put it back in the trimmer and cut these pieces off. But I'm going to pop that there as well. I just like to have it with the little crosses, and I know they're the pieces I need to cut out. Okay, going to go all the way up on this one. Chop this little piece off. We don't need that, and we don't need that square. But I am going to mitre that one. I'm going to cut down the little scores, and I'm going to mitre it just slightly, just so that it fits in easier when we're trying to make the box. Okay, so now you see I've got this piece here. Now I'm going to cut these 2 pieces out. I'm going to do this with my bigger scissors because it's quite a long line. Don't worry if you've got little overhangs or anything, we can always trim that out later. Get rid of those pieces. Okay, so we've got all of this side done. I'm going to do exactly the same down this side. So I'm just going to turn it round to make it easier. Laura, do you make many boxes? Do you make boxes to put your cards in or anything? I know Jane's seen me make boxes before. Okay, so that's that way. No, it isn't, it's that way. Right, I'm going to cut these 3 little corner pieces out now. I'm just going to cut this one. And I'm going to cut all the way so that those little X's are gone. You don't make boxes? Yeah. Oh, I think you should. It's really nice to make boxes for your cards as well. And especially because you can make it just match your cards then. Okay. The only thing I have to be wary of is which way to cut the flap. So I always just look at this. So this little corner is going to come my tab here. So I need to turn it this way, and then I'm just going to mitre it. But it's not the end of the world if you cut it wrong. You know, you can always stick it back on again. Okay, let's make a bit more space. Yeah, okay, well, I'm quite happy to show you how to make easy boxes as well, Laurie. Okay, so we've got our 2 pieces. And you don't need to rush. You can just cut, you know, take your time, check back on your template all the time. And, you know, there's no rush in making a box. What I'm going to do now is just fold all of those score lines over and just burnish them, just to make it easier for when we're putting the box together. And I'm folding them so that they're all going to the inside. And this is going to be the front, so I'm folding them so that they go inside. And fold that little flap as well. Okay. How was your trip to Banff? Did you have a lovely weekend? I know you were away on the Tuesday. But, I hope you had good weather. Oh, let's try. Okay, so there's our little box shape, and you can already see how it's going to work. These pieces are going to be the top, and they're going to fold over. There's a little tab that folds in. And same down here, and this is going to be like the book cover that folds over. So really, really simple. Okay. Now I like to round the corners. You can leave it just like this and it works perfectly, but if you want to round the corners, if you have a corner rounder, you can round all of these ones. I'm going to try and do it with this because I know a lot of you have this punch rather than the older little individual corner rounders. Okay, and I want these 2 edges to be rounded, so I'm going to fold this whole piece and fold it flat so that I can get this into the corner rounder. I'm just going to pop it in there, push it all the way in, and it will just round that one corner. I want this one doing the same, so I'm going to fold this right hand side over, just so that this nice corner, this 90-degree angle, fits easily into the punch. Oh, I'm glad you had a nice time. So we missed you, Laurie. Okay, now I'm going to do the same at the bottom. So I'm going to fold this one over, pop it in. Doesn't matter which side you do first, doesn't matter if you do the top or the underneath, as long as you get all of your corners in. And with this one, with this punch, this, like the trio one, you can cut little holes to put ribbon through, you can do corners, or you can use this one which cuts out like a little design on the corner. Very pretty, and you can also put like 2 layers of card underneath it, so you can get the whole of the card under. Okay, and then last of all, I'm going to do these 2 pieces. You don't have to fold anything for these 2 pieces. Just have to pop it in. Okay, so that's all the corner rounding. These are the only corners that show. You don't need to worry about these. It's going to go over the top there. So, and then on my other one, I left these, the book corners, I left them just straight, but I actually like it folded over. And I think it looks quite nice, but you certainly don't have to do that. If I get my other one out, and you see on this one I left them just square cut. I will have to corner around my paper to match just for the front and back here, but that's fine. So I'm going to stick my paper on before I start to glue the box. Now because I corner rounded, can you see how I need to corner around these edges as well? bottom one too. So that will be a perfect match then for there. I'm going to put a piece of paper on the inside, so I'll need to corner around. I want this side of the paper, so I'm going to corner around these two. But you don't have to do this part at all. You can just leave it nice and square. Okay, and then the back one, we don't need any rounding. Laurie, no, I don't think you should stop a romantic dinner just to watch me make cards. You can always watch the replay. So funny. Okay, now I'm just going to stick this onto the back. Oops, this piece onto the back. That will be the underneath of our box. I don't think your husband would be very impressed. He said, no, can't have a romantic dinner, we're just going to watch card making. How are you doing this week, Jane? What crafting are you up to? I've forgiven you for not liking rice pudding, Jane. Oh. But when I come and see you, I might bring rice pudding with me. Okay, so let's have a look. This is the one I think that I'm going to put inside, and I want the black and white on this one. Just want it to be a little bit different. Just because I want to put something on it. You know, like on the first one I had like the words for the chocolate. They love you more than chocolate. I want to do the same on this. But I'm not going to use the same words. Okay, and then let's pop this one on the front. You're making birthday cards? Are you making while we craft? I always like to know what everybody's doing, especially if you're sort of crafting along with me. I think we should do another mystery card one. You know, so I give you all the designer series paper sizes and the card sizes, and then we just craft together on the night. I had such fun when we did that before. And because everybody used different papers and everything, it was really nice to see. Just rice pudding for me. No, I'm going to convert you, Jane. I'm sure you'll love rice pudding. Okay, right, let's pop this box together. Now, I want it to stand up like this. I'm going to put those square edges on the inside, and I've left them square just so I have a little bit more space for gluing it down. I want to put this little tab in, so I'm going to do the little tab first. And you could use like a tear and tape, you could use glue dots. I'm just going to put a little bit of wet glue on. Okay, and let's see how it's best for you to see it. I'm just going to fold the tab over and push the bottom piece up so that it makes a really nice corner. You see how it's just going to make a flat little corner there. There, that's probably the best way to see it. I'm just going to hold it for a second just till I know it's stuck. Okay. Have you all made your Valentine's cards now? Okay, I'm going to do the same at the top. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. And then I'm going to fold it in and stick it to the top of the box. Just so we get a nice little, nice sort of perfect squares, perfect edges. But you do just have to hold it for a second or two if you're using wet glue. Yeah, okay. Now, this is gonna fold in, but I want it to fold over this piece. So you can either use glue to stick these corners down, or you can use a little glue dot. I'm going to pop a little glue dot on mine just to show you that, you know, you don't have to use a lot of wet glue. Let's pop one of these, and I'm just going to put it under where the corner rounder part is. Then I'm going to stick that down, just hold that with my finger, and it sticks straight away, of course, because it's just a glue dot. Okay. Now can you see how it's making like 3 sides of a box? And it's really just the same design as I use for a lot of my card making boxes. You know, if I'm going to put a card inside or a set of cards. But on those, I have little flaps here to close it all in. But because I want to be able to get that chocolate out easily, that's why I'm only doing 3 sides of the box, sort of adhered down. I'm just going to move that. It's not quite where I want it. There we go. Okay. Okay. And because I've got a glue dot on, you know, it doesn't look like it's all the way stuck down, but it really is. Okay, and then this piece will go over the top, and that will make, oops, let's push that in, push that one down. That will make our little book fold. Okay. Now I found it easier to put my chocolate bar in. So I'm going to get my chocolate bar, and you can just slide it in like this. So it will just slide in. And I found it easier just to put a couple of glue dots on to hold it in place. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just going to put a couple of glue dots on, and then I know that it's going to sit still in my boxes. And while I'm sort of making the front and everything, it's not going to rattle around. So I've just got 2. I'm going to slide that right in there, right up to the edges. What I have found with these boxes is some of them are a little bit sort of deeper on the edges. So this one looks pretty perfect though. I had one that where they'd made their own box, it wasn't quite folded down properly. And so I just had to sort of move and manoeuvre my little card sides. But that's in there quite nicely. Okay, and we'll do the ribbon for the top. I'm just pushing that down so I know it's in the right place. We'll do the ribbon for the top, and then we'll do the front. So I'm going to use some of the just that real red ribbon. I know I've done the rest with Poppy Parade, but these little hearts are actually real red. And on my other one, I needed about 24 inches. So let's measure just 24 inches across the bottom here. I'll pop that out the way, and I'm going to wrap it all the way around. I'm not finishing it off yet. I'm just going to wrap it round. Yep, I like that ribbon on it, and I know it's going to go across that middle row of hearts. So what I'm going to do is just put a little piece of tear and tape underneath to keep it stuck in place. You could put a glue dot if you wanted to. You won't see this because it will have the sentiment over. Okay, and that will just hold it. I'm not putting any on the back, and I'm not putting it on here because I only need it in one spot really. Okay, let's put that to one side while we do the front. I've got my little die cuts all ready, and I think I showed you I did them from that hippo set. Let me go back to that hippo set. I used this largest one here, and I think this is one of the most useful sets of dies because you've got all these stitch shapes, different shapes, these, and they layer really nicely. So it is one that I've started to use a lot more. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to need a little piece of scratch paper. Okay, here we go. And I'm using just these little chocolates and a couple of the sentiments. Ooh, but I've forgotten. I have to cut out something. Okay, I'm going to cut these first with my little die cut. I've got the one that says chocolate. Okay. And all together I'm going to need that cut out 4 times. And I'm cutting it out with my real red. And what you can do is, you remember that little piece of scrap that we had left over from cutting the card? You can cut it from that. I had another little piece of scrap. Let's pop this. I've got actually a couple of pieces of scrap. So let me get my little cut machine, little mini one. And we'll pop these in. Okay. Pop that there. And oh, did I take my little die cut off? Where did I put it? Did I take it out? I think I put it back. I did, I put it back in. I have to make sure I've got the one that says chocolate, not the one that says cocktails. And this is the one that says chocolate. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it on here and run it right through. And remember on the little one to have these plates offset. It doesn't like it if you put them both in together. Okay. So let's cut that. There we go. And there's our little word chocolate. Oops. Up you come. Okay, I'm just going to scrape those off. Now, if you have some of the double-sided adhesive sheet, it's really easy to do your die cuts using it. I've got a little scrap here, and if I pop it back on here, let's see, will that go through? I'm going to pop it on there, and I'm just going to cut my card down a little bit when I put it on. And it's just, it makes it like a sticker. So if you peel the one side off, this side that you can see is, it has like a thin glue on it. And you just stick it onto your card. And then I'm just going to cut the whole piece down. And you'll be able to take this backing off as well, and it will just make it literally like a sticker. And let's pop these back in. I need to cut it 2 more times because I do already have one cut out. I'm going to pop it back on there. Whoopsie. And then we'll put the other one on, and I'm making sure that they're offset. Now, just because I've got that other little layer, I'm just going to run it back again as well. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a cocktail. You're right, Jane. Okay, let me take that one off. There is nothing wrong with a cocktail. I should have bought little mini cocktails, shouldn't I? Little bottles of cocktails. That would be a far nicer Valentine's gift than a chocolate bar. Okay, let's just pop that through. And I'm going to pop it back again. Back you go. I don't need this anymore, so let's get rid of that. Okay, let's take this die cut out. And then on the back it's got that little piece that will work like the sticker. I don't need that piece, and I don't need that piece. So I just have to remember I've got one that I need to glue, and the others I've got a sticker on. Let's pop chocolate back. Yeah, just poke these little pieces out. I don't want these little pieces sticking on. The beauty of making these little boxes as well is you can make them to match your chocolate bars, but you can make them out of any colour and any paper you've got. You know, if you go and buy Valentines-y things in the store, you know, it might be just a colour that you don't want. I know it's usually red or really shiny or really bright, and you just might not want that. So I didn't want that for the one for my husband. I wanted something a bit more masculine looking. So, right, let's go back to stamping. Now, dropped it. On my first one, I did the little chocolates at the bottom, and today is a chocolate kind of day. I'm going to do very similar. Let's get rid of that little red piece. So it'll be very similar, but just a little bit different. So I'm going to get my stamp blocks and my stamps. I want the chocolate that has the little line, like the outline, and I want the one with the chocolates. So those, and I'm going to do them just in two different browns. So I'm going to stamp the chocolate in Sahara Sand, and then I'm going to do the outline piece in Early Espresso. So let's just, yep, that's the one I want. I'm going to do it right at the bottom. Let me just see, I'm going to turn that way. And then whoop, just stamp these little chocolates right in the middle. Okay. I don't need the Sahara Sand again for a moment or two, so I'm just going to close that one up. I'm going to get the Early Espresso, and let's do the outline. Okay, and it doesn't fit exactly on here. You do have a little bit of chocolate showing. You see, you've got like a little white piece as well. So. And oh, I am going to need that for my writing. So at the top, I'm going to do just the same as here. I'm going to put today is a. Now let's clean that stamp off. Because we don't need the chocolates anymore, but I do need the sentiments. Pop that back on there, and let's find today is a. Today is, oh, we need kind of day as well, so let's get that one while I see it. Today is, pop it on my block. And Early Espresso, yes it is. And I'm just going to put it, I'm not going to put it on straight. Okay, so today is a. Clean that little stamp. This back, and instead of stamping chocolate, I'm going to use one of those red ones that we had. Let me get one that's a sticker. I'm going to take that stickery bit off. See how easy it just comes off, and then it's sticky underneath. So I'm only choosing red because everything is red on my box. So. And using the little die cut, it just gives it a little bit, you know, it stands off a little bit more texture. Okay, so now I need kind of a day. Oh, let's stick that E down. I'm going to do that one fairly straight. Okay, and clean that one up. Hi Janet. Oh, don't worry that you can't always be here right at the beginning. We're just making a little chocolate box, and it's for a Lindt chocolate bar, which doesn't seem to be a size that I've made a chocolate box for before. So I was fiddling about trying to make my own little chocolate box, and I came up with something that I'm quite happy with. So I'll put that one back. I need my Sahara Sand again, because that's the one I used just to put all these little stars on, just so that the page didn't look too empty. Yeah. I haven't really used this set very much, which is starting to be like something I say a lot. I haven't used these dies. Oh look, I bought that stamp set. So I'm trying to use things just a bit more. Now let's see what we've got. 3, 6, 7, 8. Where should I put another one? I'm going to put another one up here. 7, 8, 9. Okay, I don't need any more ink. Pop this one away. loved watching your little guy that you child mind. Loved watching him paint, Janet. So he really wanted a bit more paint, didn't he? He was funny to see. Okay. Now, what have I still got out? There you go. I knew there was a space there, so I knew I'd left a stamp. Let's pop that one away. Pop that one, and then we're done with stamping. Now, let's go back to our box. And before I put this on the front, I'm just going to add those other chocolate words to the inside. And I'm going to pop them on this black and white piece because I think they'll show up there. So I'm not doing the one like I did in here. Let me just show you because I don't think Janet saw it. I did the Love You More Than Chocolate one for, I'm going to give this to my husband because that's his favourite Lindt chocolate with the chilli in. But this one I'm just going to put chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Take this little sticker off. I'm really sad now that I've cut some out and I haven't got the sticker. I'm going to have to get the glue out. You see how much quicker it makes it? And it's great for the intricate dies where when you're sort of gluing, you can't get an awful lot of glue on. I love making them into stickers. But for the last one, yeah, it's a really easy box, Jenna, as well. I just couldn't find anything in my templates that I'd already made because normally I wrap up the Cadbury bars and they're sort of a little bit narrower. I think there's something like 3 by 6 and the Lindt box was 3.5 by 7.5. So I knew I didn't have anything. I had a quick look online and I couldn't find anything I liked. So I fiddled about yesterday making my own. And I love how it came out. And I didn't put a tab on here on the box because otherwise it was difficult to get the chocolate bar in and out. So there we go, let's stick that down. And it's just like a little unexpected piece inside. So, okay, so let's close that up. And I'm going to pop those down. I'm just going to tie my ribbon in a bow right now. Just a simple little bow. Okay, push the little pieces in. And then this, I'm just going to pop it up on a few dimensionals. It will go over the ribbon as well, so that will keep the ribbon in place. I'm just going to put one right there to stick right on top of the ribbon. Just take the back ends off. And then I'm just going to pop it over the top of my ribbon. And there we are. That's my little box all finished. So really a cute little thing just to give, you know, a little gift. And it doesn't have to be Valentine's. Oh, oops. This one, because I chose that masculine paper from, what was it called again? I tell you, I forget this every time. It's like Beauty of the Earth or something. Oh, it is Beauty of the Earth. I always want to say Beautiful Friendship or something like that. Okay, so let's tie this one back up again. And you can make them for any occasion. So, make that ribbon flat on the back. So there we are. I hope you'll have a go at those. Oh, nice, Jane. Send us a picture when you've made one. And don't forget, make a template first. Just because it makes it so much easier when you put this on top of your card and then you can, you know, you put like this was here, you just put your little lines on so you know which bits to cut out. It makes it fast. After you've made this one, you know, if you want to make sort of 2 or 3 of them, you're not trying to think which bit did I cut off, because you just go around your template. I'll put all these sizes onto the Facebook page after we finish the video. Okay, so thank you for joining me, ladies. I hope you'll have a go at that. And yeah, Jane, I'd love to see your pictures. And Janet, yeah, they're great for grown-up kids, because they're not, you know, they're not sort of babyish. They're not the kind of chocolate that some of Valentine's things are made of. That isn't the best chocolate. So at least with this, I could just wrap up like a favourite chocolate. So, no, and it's just, you know, it looks pretty when you've made it. And that leaves me 2 more to wrap up. And I was saying earlier, Janet, I did start off with more than four chocolate bars. But I can't think where they went to. So thanks for joining me, ladies. I'll see you all again next week. Have a wonderful weekend and a very happy Valentine's Day. And I'll see you the day after. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.